Hello and welcome to Empower, the program that focuses on amazing women who are breaking barriers, driving impact, and helping others step into their best selves. I am your host, Sharon Ajay, and today we shine in the spotlight on a woman who is passionate about helping people step into their boldness and live with purpose. She is a certified mindset and confidence coach, a seasoned writer, and the founder of the Portable Hub and the International Tribe. Through her books, coaching, and initiatives like the Audacious Women Conference, she has been equipping creative professionals and even teenagers to break free from self-doubt, build confidence, and take intentional action. She is truly committed to inspiring lives with intentionality and impact. Well, with that being said, let's make welcome Adeola Daw. It's amazing to have you in the studio with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharon.
You
Thank
look
you.
amazingly well.
So do you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
Now, Adeola, you do a lot. You are a coach, you are a writer, you are a mentor, you are a conference convener. That's quite a lot and amazing at that. Now, I'd like you to share with us what sparked your journey into mindset and confidence coaching.
So this is a story I like to share. You know, I like to take people back to the foundation of what really started this. And it might seem funny to you, but I would truly say that is where I started from. So when I was much younger, when I was a teenager, I used to have this insecurity. I battled a lot of insecurities about my height. That's why I said it might seem funny to you, because I'm not so tall. And when I was younger, I used to battle this insecurity, but I was a pro at masking it. So people didn't know that this was what was going on. But I allowed that insecurity to cheat me out of a lot. It shielded me from putting myself out there. I couldn't see myself beyond how I looked, forgetting that there were so many other things about me.
Yeah.
And so this hindered me. But then I wasn't getting bullied, funny enough, but then I woke up one morning and I was tired of feeling sorry for myself. And that was what started this. And I began to actively search for ways to become more confident, ways to change my mindset. And as soon as I was on that journey, it became easier for me to help other people do the same. So this is what formed the foundation for where I am today.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You specialize in rational emotive behavioral techniques. Is that also what led to that, or there's another personal experience that led you into that?
Well, it's still related. So we call it REBT for short, so that we don't really break our teeth. Yeah. And basically, it's just to help people shift from unhelpful, irrational thought patterns. Okay. So things that have not allowed you, the thoughts that have not served you, basically, and to shift to more empowering ones, things that help you to now feel and act differently. So rational, emotive, behavioral techniques. So we have tools and techniques that help us in mindset coaching, that help you to think better, feel better, and act better. That's just what it is.
Wow, that's remarkable.
Thank you.
Let's go to your book writing. You've authored quite a number of books and of course ebooks. We have two of them. We have the Portable Handbook for Purposeful Living and the Portable Handbook for Thriving Every Day, aside other ebooks you've written. Yeah. Now, what inspired this book? I'm just talking inspired, yes. And I feel that there's a lot of stories because starting from, the beginning, I believe there are a lot of stories that helped you through betting all of this.
Absolutely. So if you have noticed, when you see the Portable Handbook, so I like to be called Portable, and it's even the name of my company because I don't like to be called small, right? But I like to be called Portable. So for me, the starting point for me was I decided to make what used to make me insecure. I decided to turn it around for myself. So what, if you would call me portable or smally or whatever, initially, that would have made me feel some type of way. But when I had that awakening, I was able to now turn it around for myself. That thing that used to make me feel some type of way, I really wanted to project it, which is why you see portable in a lot of the things I do. Now, for what inspired the writings of the book, right, I just knew that there was something I needed to share with the world. I had a blog. around 2015, but I knew that I really wanted to package something more to reach more people. And purpose is something that I really cherish. It's something that I love to speak about. I love to break so many misconceptions, and that just came as a divine idea to me to put that in a book. So when you look at the portable handbook, it's a really small book, just like me, right? But then it is loaded with a lot of things that help you live purposefully. And like the second one, thriving every day, practical steps. So basically, that's what inspired it.
Amazing. Now we know where the portable in the portable hub,
Exactly.
where it comes from.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your ebooks. The title: Speak Life, Breathe Life, Manifest Life.
Yes.
When I was reading through it, I'm like, it was already speaking to me because they are so affirmative.
Yes.
Can you tell us the importance of affirmation in shaping our confidence and mindset?
Yes, what you say to yourself, your language to yourself is very important. In fact, it supersedes a lot of things. The things that will come out of you is dependent on what you say to yourself, not even what people say to you, because they can say a lot, but what you ultimately tell yourself is what you see in your life. So when I was on this confidence journey, affirmations are one of the things I discovered that really helped me, and not just the mindless ones that we see these days. Some people just make some kind of affirmations that are like, okay. But then when you think deeply about what you're saying, and the more often you keep repeating it, you begin to see that it's doing something with your mind and your brain. So I believe your language to yourself, speaking to yourself, is very important when it comes to building confidence. Like I said earlier, there are tons of things that people can say to you. They can say a lot of things to you, but ultimately what you say to yourself is going to determine the kind of output and the result that you get. So I'm very big on affirmations, which is why I had to write an ebook on it. So different affirmations, different things about your daily life. That's what is in that book.
Wow, interesting. Over the course of your coaching and all of that, you've had lots of clients that had to deal with, limiting mindset, confidence and all of that. Because I want to believe that you've had not only women, you've had youth and teenagers, you have women, men, come to you for coaching.
Yeah.
What is the recurring belief that you've seen over time with your clients that, plays out as something that holds them back whenever you are, coaching them and all of that?
That's a very good question. And, for women, you see quite a number. In fact, you won't even believe what you're hearing. You'll be like, what's going on? We have people who are just, what has held them back as a limiting belief is they don't want to be perceived as too much. Now, when you are putting a man and a woman together, a man is not really afraid to. He goes out there, says what he wants to say, whether it sounds intelligent or not. He goes out there, does what he wants to do. But we see women trying to calculate a lot of things. We have been told various narratives. We have been passed down with various narratives from even our parents, our mothers, and women around us, that when you do a certain thing, you don't want to be perceived as too much. You want to stay in your lane, and so even down to the little things like, you don't want to have a certain thing, because men will not approach you, or they will see that you are being too much. So one of the very prominent limiting belief I have seen is that women don't want to be perceived as too much. So they rather stay where they are, doing what they want to do, when they know that there is a capacity for something great within them. And that's why we have a lot of women conferences. We see all of these things. When people go, they can testify to what another woman is doing. They know they have the capacity for that, but there is something stopping them. So many things in their head, and how do I balance this with this, that balance is also another limiting belief. People have struggled with how to balance. So I would say that the very prominent one is people don't want to be perceived as too much. I don't want to be seen here. I don't want to be seen there. Let me stay in my lane. And this is very tantamount to hiding, shying away, not taking up space where you should be, leaving that place vacant for other people to accommodate. So that's what I've seen, actually.
Wow. Okay, the next question, I'm not trying to book a section, but can you tell us one practical strategy you've used to, help someone break out of self-doubt?
Self-doubt, I used to say, is part of the mix. So I would just, if I am having a session with you, I will let you know that it's okay to doubt yourself. It is part of the mix. When you want to do something that is great, something that is capable of changing your life and even others, something, not even something really big, self-doubt is part of the mix. You would begin to question yourself. How, can I really do this? So I want to say it's normal, but what you do after is what makes the difference. So when you look at yourself, you want to think like, what I want to achieve, do I allow this? I used to say fear and self-doubt, they're like double-edged swords. So it's capable of putting you, the first side can put you where you are, just keep you. The other side can propel you. So it's either serving as a stopper or a propeller for you. And so when you think about what you want to achieve as a human being, as an individual, what do you want to be said about you? That you allow this thing to stop you, or that you allowed it, regardless of how it came, to propel you to do something else, something significant. So I would say that you think about the destination in the long run. What do you want to be said about you? That something stopped you, or that you were able to go forward in spite of that thing.
Wow, thank you very much, Adeola. We have still quite a lot to ask you, but before we go on, we'll be going on a short break. And when we return, Empower continues.
Everybody has a stake in making the world a better place with love and compassion. As we thrive daily, we continue to strive to face the many challenges that faces our Earth, because together we all matter. On one side, we are exploring the captivating stories, the trends, the glamour, while on the other hand, we're looking at the love, the care and compassion from our champions. In our Stars Quiet Cove lies the burning passion for humanity, which is seldom known and unsung to the world. Join me on Famed to look at the flip side of your favorite beyond the regular.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is Empower. And of course, we have Adeola Daw, a mindset and confident coach. Adeola,
Yes.
Back to our questions. Now, in your experience over time, how important is psychological safety in workplaces especially, and what role does confidence, play in creating it?
Yes, psychological safety is very important in the workplace. And, where there is no psychological safety, particularly in the workspace, one of the things you see there is a very toxic place. There is fear. People are not innovative. Not that they don't have the power to be innovative, or they are not creative, but they're not able to take some kind of initiative because the environment doesn't support that. So one of the things I do as a mindset and confidence coach is to really expand my borders to the workspace, particularly teaching the management there that psychological safety is very important. Giving people room to be themselves, to be creative. You don't want an organization where it's just day in, day out, everything is just the normal way. There are untapped potentials in everybody. But the moment you keep shutting some people down, allowing some people to speak, you're creating a very toxic environment. And in that place, there is already a lack of psychological safety. So basically what that means is that people are safe enough to be themselves. People are safe enough to comment on things. When you're in a meeting, people are bold enough and safe enough to say, oh, I don't think it should be that way. And you won't just correct them and say, you sit down. You don't know what you're saying. Giving room to somebody else. So it's a safe space where people can be confident to be themselves. And when you see an environment or an organization where there is psychological safety, you see that the employees there are thriving. And obviously that increases turnover for the overall organization. Yeah. So it's really important that people begin to consider ensuring that their space is psychologically safe for the employees.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
I believe lots of employees and employers should see this part, this psychological part you just talked about, and pick one or two from it. Let's talk about the Audacious Woman. The Audacious Woman Conference.
Yeah.
Such a bold name, the Audacious Woman.
Yes.
Now tell me, what does audacity mean to you? And how is it so important for women to be audacious? Because check out the name, the Audacious Woman.
Yes.
What's the link? Why is it so important?
Right. So audacity, what it means a lot to me in different ways. And I think I like to shed more light on that, because the moment you hear audacity or audacious, you have a picture in your mind. Maybe it's one woman who is dressed all suited up with her heels and makeup on fleek, but that's not necessarily audacity, right? Audacity it means a lot. It can look differently to different women. You just need to find yours and key into it, align yourself with it. So audacity can mean you just being bold enough to proceed with what is in your mind. I'm a Christian and I get ideas from God. Audacity for me can mean just embarking on that one idea that God has placed inside my mind, instead of just allowing me to say, somebody has done it, let me just rest. Audacity can mean breaking away from a relationship, a space, a job that no longer serves you. Audacity can just mean, you being bold enough and courageous enough to make some decisions and follow through with it. You see? So audacity means different things to it can look differently at different points in time. You just need to know what it means to you at a particular time. So while we are looking at women who have everything seemingly figured out, that might not necessarily be audacity. What does audacity mean to you where you are? You might feel like you don't have everything, you don't have this, you don't have that. But with the little you have, are you making a move with it? Are you consistent with it? Can you follow through with it? That's audacity.
Quite interesting.
Yes.
Can you share a powerful story from your coaching, your initiative, your community, a transforming story? Maybe someone that came that was, lack of confidence, not so audacious, limiting mindset, self-doubt, that there was a transformation after your coaching.
Well, I have tons of stories. I'll just have to look for one or a couple to share. I've worked with quite a number of people, and I just love to observe them when they come. And by God's grace, I used to say that when people come for coaching sessions or, a coaching period, between the moment we have the first contact, even to the end of that particular session, I can already notice a difference. It's always very powerful. So I've had people come into sessions and, they just feel, they can't just see beyond what is the issue. So you ask them, coach, I feel this, I've not been able to do this. I know that I can do this. I have a calling, I have this, and I begin to let them see what is really inside. Because what is when they come, what is really at the forefront is the problem. They can't see beyond what it is. And, having to reframe certain things, because that's one of the techniques we use in mindset coaching, reframing. So it's not that these thoughts are very valid. When you say that you believe you're not good enough, they are valid because that's how you feel. But I can help you reframe it in such a way that it now empowers you. So we have had people come into sessions and they only see their deficiencies. And then in the process of reframing, in the process of replacing these thoughts, they go out empowered. I had a client, this is even a man actually, who came in and, he sort of had it figured out, but his problem was just following through with things. And I had to tell him that, one of the things, what I've noticed about you is that you have an allegiance to comfort. And I could see on his face, like, wow, which kind of diagnosis is this? And I just told him that you like the easy things. You like just to be comfortable. You don't want to seem to take the hard route. Things are going well for you, but you won't see a lasting result if you keep relaxing and just wanting the easy stuff, And, by introducing certain things, he also had issues with his finances. He could not manage certain things. I don't want to just divulge a lot of information, right? But then after about 3 weeks, 3 weeks or so, I could see a visible difference. In fact, this guy started showing up. Another issue he had was showing up consistently on social media because of his brand. I could see the way he was showing up with his message consistently. So I just like to watch from the sidelines, and I'm seeing that I can see something is changing. So I have countless stories. Like I said, I can't even think of one. But then these are just a couple of things. And what I've seen, there's a way they come into the session. But leaving, you can see a change in the way that they are thinking because you have helped them to see what is inside. That's just what it is.
Quite amazing. It's beautiful to hear that. Of course, when we get examples or get feedbacks of what our coaching, what we are doing, how it's playing out in people's life, it's so amazing.
It is
really.
fulfilling.
It's so fulfilling.
Yes.
The beautiful thing about your coaching is that you're not just focused on the adults. You are also, focused on teenagers.
Yes.
And focused on building their own confidence.
Yes.
You can't have a woman that has self-doubt and less confidence without seeing a child that once had to pass through that.
That's it.
And all of that. So I want you to share with us, why is it so important to start building self-confidence at a very young age?
Because, that's really the foundation. And I'm very passionate about teenagers, particularly teenage girls, right? Because that's the foundation. So you have the opportunity there to mold them into becoming more confident women. Does it mean that confidence is not the absence of doubt, fear, and all those things? It's not. But what you can do with the knowledge you now have is what makes the difference. And I think that teenage years are very fundamental and foundational to be able to mold these ladies or young girls into becoming the women that we want them to become. For me, I see just going back to the roots. So when I see a young girl who is battling these things, I can see myself in her because I battled insecurities. And so it makes it easier for me to teach her and tell her things that she wants to hear, particularly on the path of building confidence. So it's really important that we learn to, affirm these young girls to become confident women.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Adeola. You've spoken extensively well. Now, I would like you to do something. I want you to look into your camera because let me put the question before you proceed. There are lots of persons that might not even have access to your coaching section or even any other coaching section, but they are out there dealing with self-doubt, dealing with lack of confidence and all of that. Now I want you to look straight into your camera like you're talking to a wide audience of people that might not have access to all of this, and tell them or advise them on the very first steps that they need to take to move forward into getting or eradicating self-doubt from themselves and getting confidence as a human being.
All right. So the first thing is to know and understand who you are. Identity is very important. And just in case you're still grappling with who you are, I'm here to tell you that you are a difference maker. You are unique because from the beginning of time, there is a uniqueness that is intertwined with your life. And so before you write yourself up, you can know that you're a difference maker. There is something that you have that only you can carry out by yourself. And so you need to know that this is who you are. You're not a failure. You are good enough. You are successful. All of those things you are. And so when you want to do something or on this journey of building confidence, these are the things you need to remind yourself of to help you forge ahead. All of the projections, everything that you may have heard, the beliefs that you may have carried from when you were, a child, the environment you grew up in, those things do not define you. They do not define you. You are your own person, the person that God has made you to be. And so whenever you want to do something, in spite of the fear and the doubt that you may be feeling, because they will come, you must understand the person that you are, and you must forge ahead, because you are created to have a lasting impact. That is who you are. So always remember this.
Thank you so much, Adeola. For a split moment, I had to snap back and tell myself I'm in the studio, because I felt like I was having a section with you. Thank you so much. So we are wrapping up, and next I would be reading a fact from the World Health Organization. I just want to get your opinion, just a word on it.
Yes.
All right. The World Health Organization reports that globally there is a great shortage of specialized mental health workers for children and adolescents, with a median of 1.5 mental health workers of any kind per 100,000 population. And, looking at this report, you could see that there's a wide margin of mental health workers, compared to the population that we have. And Adeola, I would like you to give a reference, just a word on this.
Right. And we have a shortage because, people are not, I don't want to say sane, but their mental health is not in a good place for them to even tend to other people. And I think it's quite unfortunate. And it's like a call to action for every one of us to be more conscious of our mental health. We must, and that's why we initially talked about psychological safety, that we ensure that in every space, everywhere that we find ourselves, we are creating room for our mental health to thrive, so that we have a good number. And because when people they're not okay mentally, psychologically, it becomes difficult for them to attend to other people. So it's important that in every of our spaces, wherever it is that we find ourselves, we are creating a great environment for us to thrive mentally and psychologically.
Amazing. Just the icing on the cake. What part does awareness play in regards to mental health?
Yes, it's very important. And I'm sure you've seen that in recent times, there have been a lot of awareness strategies from various organizations to, create more awareness about the importance of a great mental health. Because when we talk about mental health, is either high or low. So there are a lot of organizations that have come together, and I think it's not to be left for these organizations alone. For everyone who has a space, a forum, a platform, it's important that we keep creating this awareness of the importance of mental health, of a great mental health. Because when we don't do this, we begin to see a lot of, damages being done to individuals who have not been able to thrive, who have not gotten room enough to thrive in their mental health. So we must use our voices everywhere that we find ourselves to create more awareness about this.
Thank you so much, Adeola Daw.
Thank you for having me.
It was such an inspiring conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And that's where we draw the line on Empower. Remember, I am your host, Shauna J. And until next time, see you.